Well, we like to think there's light at the end of the COVID tunnel. Sometimes it feels like it's a very long tunnel, however, and a new poll has asked South Africans when they think life will return to normal. The data suggests we are pretty divided on the subject, actually. Let's crunch the numbers. Michael Marillier joining us now in studio. So, some people say it's close. Some people say that light at the end of the tunnel is miles away. Tell us more.
Yeah, Sally, this was an Ipsos study that was conducted at the beginning of March, asking people, when do you think life will go back to normal? What is normal? Well, basically how it was before the COVID-19 pandemic, and some very interesting perspectives from South Africans with this one, Sally. Let's focus on the numbers first of all. Around about 9% of respondents, Sally, that said that they don't think life will ever return to normal. So absolutely no light whatsoever in that particular tunnel. Roughly 40% saying it's going to take more than a year. And that's important, Sally, because it really tallies with what government is saying about the vaccine rollout. They're expecting the rollout to be completed at some point between February and possibly April next year. So that really makes sense in terms of what government has told us. But that's just 40% of the population. Let's focus on some of the other responses, Sally, and this is pretty intriguing. 28% saying, no, it'll be done and dusted within 12 months. Another 8% saying 6 months, everything will go back to normal. 3 months, well, 9% of the population reckon it'll be done essentially by July, Sally, and 6% say it's already back to normal. What are you talking about? Crisis? What crisis? I'm not sure what they have in their breakfast cereal, Sally, but I'd like some of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, 6% saying life is already back to normal and everything's okay. So roughly we have a divide here of almost 50-50. 50% saying that it's going to be a long-term thing. Another 50% saying this time next year, this will be in the rear-view mirror. We'll have moved on.
It's interesting, and I wonder, this is South African data. We know that we've been late with our vaccination rollout, and I'm wondering when this survey was actually done. Obviously, it didn't include the latest hiccup, let's call it, around the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause. But when exactly was it done? Do you know? Yeah,
so this was conducted last week of February, first week of March, Sally. So our vaccine rollout had begun officially. It was about 2 weeks after the president himself had taken the vaccine. So it was on the horizon, but certainly we're a long way behind many of the other countries. Despite that, Sally, we seem to be a lot more positive. Our mental health seems to be in quite a good space. Let's actually focus on that very quickly. This survey asked people whether their mental health had deteriorated, stayed the same, or gotten better during the past 12 months or so. We're going to focus on those who said it stayed the same or it got better. So the global average here, Sally, 55% of people saying pretty much the same, or I'm actually feeling a little bit better about life. In the UK, the figure is 48%. In Turkey, which is another emerging market like South Africa, just under 40%. And this is fascinating. Nearly 60% of South Africans saying they're pretty much the same, or they're even doing a little bit better compared to 12 months ago. And remember, Sally, both Turkey and the UK already have a vaccine rollout in effect. In fact, Turkey has vaccinated about 14% of its population. South Africa, less than 1%. Even so, it seems we are very positive, and we're focusing on that light at the end of the tunnel.
You know, and this is what I believe about South Africans, that we are inherently resilient, and we are positive, and we look for the good. And I also think, compared to this time last year when we were looking down the barrel of goodness knows how long a stay in lockdown, maybe we do see that light at the end of the tunnel purely around vaccines. But I'm going to put it down to us just being a positive nation.
Let's hope that it is a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not the oncoming train, Sally. Fingers crossed. This time next year, some of those people are right and this thing is done and dusted.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt, I do think we're for the rest of the year, until we've got significant amounts of us vaccinated, we are going to still have to be exceptionally cautious. Thank you so much, Michael Marillier.